Whew, just a very, very frigid day with the babies today. I told everybody I want to make sure that we get as many videos as we can this time of year. It's my favorite time of year for training the babies because this is when you see them change, right? Now you see hurdles and bumps along the road where horses will make mistakes or make breaks or just do stupid things. It's just part of progression. That's just part of the training. But then the times when you actually see them come forward, right? Those times when you see them turn into the horse, at least you see the flashes of what you hope they'd be. It's always a great day. And man, I went with a lot of horses today that had been making mistakes, right? Yves St. Kemp had been no good really for 3 or 4 weeks. Had made a lot of errors. Was much better today. Really happy with what I saw from him. For a horse that, you got to remember, they've had the open house and they had a few training sessions and a lot of work, and Yves St. Kemp had tied up and been sick in between, missed a lot of time, and missing this time is very, very important. It's very hard to just jump back into the swing of things when you didn't put that foundation in to begin with, where you didn't learn to sprint that little bit or that quarter or that 3/8 and then go out and go your mile. It's hard. It's hard for the horses to learn. A couple of horses really impressed me today in the sense that they had been making breaks or been making mistakes. And one that stuck out in my mind was Aunt Lily today. I just thought that made those breaks on Jason was just not doing her job correctly the last time we went to train, and that was on Monday. Before that, she'd made a break at the open house. She'd made breaks before. I just thought with her gait, things would snap in, and it wasn't a necessity for me to go with her right away, but I felt today was the day to go with her, and man, was she good. She was very, very strong, really strong throughout, and then finished up her mile strong. I know Jason was up alongside me. I don't think he was going to go by me anyway. He ended up running, I believe, past me or right up beside me, but I don't think he was going to get past her. She was in fight mode. I was really impressed with what I felt from that filly today. Her body build, her breeding, you said, there's something there. There's going to be a nice filly there. But she hadn't shown it yet, right? She hadn't taken a trip to Missouri yet, and she certainly did today. She looked very, very good. The Priest, Eric told me, he's just running in. When he run in at all, he'd make a break. You see that. You got to remember, first time today for every horse. First time training with corks on. That means a lot of them get shod yesterday, the day before, even after Monday's training session. So this is a transition. The one thing that the horse is going to Florida never face is getting corks on. And it changes their gait, changes the way they move. And quite frankly, and this is a very interesting thing, and a lot of horsemen may understand what I'm talking about. You see a lot of the horses come from the south, and then in Ontario, when we have trotters, horses racing, you would never race a horse just with no grab or swedge on. You see a lot of horses come from the States or come from Florida, and they'll just race with a half-inch, half-round, or 9/16 or 5/8 on, but they would have no grab, and we would never do that, and attribute it mostly to the surface of Mohawk. But I think in our head also, all these horses get trained with corks on in the wintertime. I don't think there's a correlation that makes them more sore or less sore. We had horses that get injured in every burn, and all of our horses get corks on at some point right through till April. So it's obviously, you see, especially when you're talking about horses in this regard, how subjective it is to each horse. But I can honestly tell you that first time you put corks on them, some of them just spring forward, and other ones struggle a little bit. So it's always interesting to watch that happen. I think you saw that today. A lot of horses that weren't really known to be making mistakes of late or at all, maybe a couple of made errors today, and you can likely attribute that to either the track, the weather, getting shod close to training, or just the corks in general. So, and I'm not telling you this to make excuses for any horses that made breaks today, but just if for my understanding also to say a horse like the Priest made breaks when he got to the turns, he ran in a little made break. He hadn't done that before. And this isn't lameness. There was no lameness in this at all. I think it was just that transition, learning to trot with the corks on, and maybe getting a little frustrated as they switch gears, getting to the turns, as they switch their leads. We talk about how the horses sometimes can box their gates up and make breaks. A lot of these things are attributed to grab, the lack thereof, or maybe too much. So today was a little transition for them. So the Priest, pretty simple at this point, not looking to make any changes other than maybe a head pull and or a Murphy blind on the left. Other than that, I think the horse was trotting fine. He said he trotted the straightaways perfect, made breaks when he got to the turns. We can fix that. And again, we haven't even put hobbles on the Priest if he even needs them. So that's always an option also as we move forward. Aunt Lily had them on today. I think I had them perfect today for her, and she showed it. At quite the opposite for She Sits at the Bar. I know Amy was really frustrated with herself, and she takes everything, she takes her job seriously. That's part of the reason I love her. She does her work very well, and she's meticulous about the horses. And what had happened was she was about to go on the track. She had a flat tire and said, well, I'll put this other jog cart on. Maybe never dawned on her that jog cart was a little bit shorter than the other jog cart. They hooked the hobbles up. That's where the hobbles went last week. There's no big deal. You go out on the track and you're like, they look loose now. And she had said it to me. She goes, see, look. She goes, I put this jog cart on and the hobbles look a little more loose than I thought they would. And I said, well, it's probably a shorter cart. And it showed. She Sits in the Bar, made a couple of breaks today, but was fantastic on Monday. Complete pitch today. I don't even care that she made the breaks today because she was that good on Monday. High hopes. Joey said she was touching her right knee. Well, we did just put a Murphy blind and a head pull on the left. Maybe that shoved her over onto that knee a little bit. So just remove the Murphy blind and continue on this next week with her. But I thought she was great the other day. Running in bad when I went with her. They jogged her all week with that head pull on. We added the Murphy blind, and again, may have pushed her over into that right knee. That's a simple fix. Just take the Murphy blind off. Now the Atronet. Well, I thought it was Atronet. Atront. I don't know. It's an Italian word, so somebody, Patricia had sent me a thing, they break it up like the dictionary, how to say it. I don't know. Atrante. How's that? I don't care. Leggy was very good today. I think Mr. McGinnis maybe thought he smelled blood in the water and just shoved her a little bit too hard, and she made a break down by the wire, but was trotting good. He said, no, she was great, trotting very good today. This is Compass Rose, DC's sister, who many of you remember. By all accounts, the speed, Compass Rose was a fast filly. And all I can do is judge horses year over year, which is not healthy, right? For me to judge last year's yearlings at this point, or 2-year-olds at this point, against this year's is not smart, because nothing is the same, right? You're not going to race against the same horses. You don't know if they're going to go the same speed, slower or faster. There's going to be a couple of standouts that you can't beat. So there's all these things that you can't control. What just happened there? There's all these things that you can't control when it comes to the horses. So it doesn't really matter what I think or how things should move. It's just a matter of how it is. I don't know what the hell I just did to this thing. Well, that's not good. I guess they're still going to go by sets. Okay, I found it. So Leggy made the break down by the wire, but was doing her work well. I was pretty happy with the way she did her work overall. As I said, she has her sister's attributes as far as how she trots, but in regards to her overall attitude, polar opposite of her bipolar sister. So set number 2, we went out the track. We added another set of bell boots to Speed of Sound. I just want to give her a little help in regards to, trotters, generally speaking, you want them to trot, put lots of weight on them up front, and they will, for the most part. And this filly doesn't need a lot of help, but when you're in the middle of a mile of training set and they make a break, it's easy to say, I should have done this. I would much rather have her train good and say, hey, we don't need that extra set of bell boots. So that's exactly what we did with Speed of Sound today. I noticed that she was horsing a little bit when she came out, so we're going to probably have to put her on a little bit of Regamate. Manhattan Money added some weight to him afterwards. He wasn't trotting the greatest day. He was a horse that struggled with that transition with Corks, I can assure you of that, because he was trotting pretty good all week long. Got shod yesterday, and then today wasn't that gifted on the trotting gait, and has been getting better. So we come off the track. The blacksmith was there. I said, hey, can you just put some toe weights on this colt for me, please? I suspect you're going to see a much better Manhattan Money next time he goes out on the track. Bluebird Tuxedo Hill just looks great every single week. This is going to be a nice horse. I don't know how fast he'll be. I don't know where he'll end up. I mean, he's very well bred, so I suspect he'll be an effective horse at 2. I can't say that with all certainty, but I believe that I believe he'll get there. I believe he'll have a lot of fun with him. How much speed he has, that'll be up to him. But historically speaking, and looking at his history in particular, his family, he should be okay. Rose Run AJ looked great. Continues to get better every single week he goes. Jason went with him today. He won the set and looked very convincing in doing so. I know you're going to say, well, he's a pacer and with trotters. None of that matters in January. Pacing, trotting, it doesn't matter. They're all trying to get their gait right and do some work. And Rose Run AJ looked good. The horse that let me down a little bit, and I know it was because of the Corks also, he's a great guy. Amy was pulling up. She goes, you should probably go with this guy this week. He's almost there. He's almost doing it right, but every time I think he's going to do it right, he doesn't. So he just needs a little help. A lot of those horses, we talk about as they go through the year how they have the hurdles that they have to get through, and every so often you'll have a horse come to one and they kind of stumble a little bit, right? They don't know if they can do it. They just need to be pushed on and put in a position to do a better job, and most of them will. And I think that's exactly where He's a Great Guy is right now. Race 3, set 3. I went on the track, and 2 tractors and a truck were out there. It never really dawned on me that Green Glitter was scared of the tractors, but I'll listen to the whole thing, because how she changed even in the span of 15 minutes was impressive. She went out on the track, she saw the screen where the horses, we were coming out on the track. All those babies saw the screen today, and they all saw it. They looked right at it. Some of them were very scared of it. 2 tractors and a truck. She bolts left, hits the rough part of the track, and dumps me right out onto the track. Scraped my elbow up, bruised my elbow, bruised my back, but she stopped. As soon as like I had her pointed towards the fence, the grandstand fence, she stopped. She didn't get any more scared. She stopped, and I kind of gathered myself up, and I still had the lines, and I jumped back on her. I'm like, oh my God, my elbow's bleeding for sure, back sore. I went out and I jogged her. Next time she went by the tractor, she spooked a little bit from them. I jogged her behind the tractor for about 3-4 minutes. And then she went by the tractor, never bothered her again. And that's how quick these horses can learn also, right? It's so cool to watch the horse, because some of them are, quite frankly, a little stupid, right? They don't get it right away. You have a horse, we talked about how terrified LT Troubadour was of all the tractors and the trucks, and just absolutely terrified of all of them. And you say, well, they'll get over it. You saw Green Glitter. She was terrified when she was on the track. She was over it in 10 minutes. And then you get to a horse like Arson, who I don't consider a stupid horse, but went by tractors his whole life, was always terrified of them. We got him to the races. He was in a crowd. He's knifed through to win his first lifetime start. Coming out of the winner's circle, tractor went by, near killed me. Near went right through the chain link fence. So it's so weird to watch the horses grow, and how some of them learn certain things, and some just take a much longer time. And that's why I say this is the coolest time of year for training the babies, because you get to see all these changes take place. So I was a little disappointed that I did bruise my elbow and my back a little bit. I'll live, I'm fine. But thoroughly impressed with, one, how quickly Green Glitter got her composure back, and then in the mile, how strong she was. We come out of the last turn. I knew Maury was coming, and I couldn't get to him last week, but I can assure you, I knew at no point in the mile was Maury going to go by me today. She just felt loaded. We made some changes to her. If you watch her training mile on Monday, she's throwing her head, rooting her head, and she just was uncomfortable. Something was bothering her in her mouth. So we took that bit off the bridle. We put a rubber-coated snaffle bit on her. Nothing serious, just a rubber-coated snaffle bit. And I put one of the V martingales on her so she couldn't throw her head. What a different horse. I was worried with the rubber bit and her head down low that she might be a little hard to control, and she might be a bit of a runaway. She does get a little anxious, a little fractious sometimes. perfect. 2 fingers today. What a sweetheart she was to drive. We came out of the last turn. She heard them coming, right? And I kind of growled at her and tapped her on the tail, and she switched gears almost into racehorse speed and was gone. Down the lane, finished up strong, finished going around the turn strong. And this is what I love, and I have to keep telling Danny and Dominic this. I don't want to see people getting to the turn after the mile and letting the horses slow up. That is, without a doubt, one of my number 1 pet peeves on planet Earth, is when they're training the babies and then you get after the wire and you just let them slow up in the turn. It drives me wild. I want them trotting or pacing into the turn, through that turn, harder than they went under the wire. And it's, everybody they want to go easy with them. But these horses right now in that training set, whether you're going in 250 or 2 minutes or 51, they're competing. And I want to make sure they understand the difference between just going out and doing an honest day's work and going out and working hard. There is a difference. And for me, again, I'm not telling anybody this is how you should train. There's a million ways to train down babies, and I certainly wouldn't begrudge anybody. But any of the horses under the stable umbrella, absolutely 100%. I hate when they're trained like that, and everybody knows that. So I was very, very pleased with the way that Green Glitter finished up. Memento Mori was flying in. He's got a slick gait. He was flying at the wire. I Don't Play Nice was first over. Kind of in no man's land, right? That's very hard for a horse to do. I let him halfway by, and then everybody kind of, like an accordion, kind of filed in forward, and I'm like, I think I'm just going to leave you out there. And I did. I just left him out there, and I think I surprised Joey a little bit. Freedom Hill, you could see what she did, was flying, but again, probably Nita Murphy on the outside. She saw the far turn. She was out. That wind hit them, and she said, you guys go ahead. I'll catch up later. And probably a Murphy blind outside, set of bandages behind. I think she'd suit a lot better. So, but the entire set was very, very good. I Don't Play Nice. Trust me when I tell you, this is one of our nicest horses. Green Glitter was great. This was a very tough field of babies for us. Rosetta. Somebody said Rosetta was bad the other day. You're right. She was terrible on Monday. Did she tie up? Was something going on? No idea, but she was very good today. Amy loved her. Said, no, that is Rosetta. Because she had gone with the other day. She goes, what the hell happened with this? What happened with this filly? And then after today, she goes, no, that was Rosetta. Much better today. So the first 3 sets are done. They were all great. 4th set, where is the 4th set? I don't even see the 4th set here. So I think I see the problem with this template main. I better not fool around with this too much because Curtis will kill me if I do. Website. There we go. Perfect. 4th set. Gymboree had acted up last week, and Joey said, she's just not paying attention. Maybe you should go with her. Added a Murphy blind, bell boots, trotting boots today, and I made sure she was on her toes. What I mean by jogged her along a little bit, and I turned her and let her scoop for like 1/8 of a mile, just so she is on her toes. It's go time. I put her on the front. It was a tough place to be today because that wind would hit them, and they're like, it's so hard to explain. If you're out there and you've ever driven horses in a windy atmosphere, then you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it'll hit them and they just shell up, they just cower up, right? And they don't want to go forward, and none of our horses did that today that I could see. Freedom Hill, but I think even on a sunny day out where she was, that may have happened anyway. But Gymboree cut the mile out, and I hadn't sit behind Gymboree in a long time, so I don't know anything about her other than she was no good on Monday. I put her on the front, and another horse I was torn on. Amy said, you should go with Oh Hill No. I said, I'll let Jason go with Oh Hill No this week. I can't fit her in. The 7 I'm going with, the 7 I want to go with today. We'll just make a mental note if I have to go with any of the other ones for next week. I put Gymboree on the front. Southwind Idex followed perfectly the whole way. He's going to learn to be a useful horse. Again, I can't speak to speed or overall ability or talent right now because it's far too early for me to do that. But I can just tell you that the ones that do it right are much more likely to end up being useful racehorses than the ones that are more apt to make mistakes. Now, there's some horses that are green, or you see a couple of horses like Captain Incredible, horses like that. They're just getting over OCD stuff, or maybe they're had some issues that they're just big and strong. Those horses take time. But if you see horses that'll go okay and then no good, no good, no good, really good, no good, really good, really good, no good, really good, that pattern is indicative of issues that they're struggling to get over, or issues that continue to flare up. that we have to work on. And although those types of horses, I remember Oso Pine was one of those horses. He was really good for a bit, and then he'd fall apart for a bit, and then he was really good. But once we got him screwed down tight as we got to the races, then he was fine. But I would much rather see that gentle progression and, cover them up. A horse like Green Glitter, I don't know how fast she is, but I would be super surprised if she didn't make it to the races and be some sort of useful horse. The difference between getting to the races and being Enzo Aguayo, and I only use him because he's fresh in my memory and because he fit the bill. There was a horse that did everything right, but just when it came right down to overall substance, what can he do? Where is the depth of that particular horse? He fell short, right? And then you look at other horses, and I use him all the time, as Austral Hanover. Didn't really look like he was a very good horse at all. Right? He might make it to the races. Who knows? Very similar to what we're talking about with a lot of these horses. Who knows? Hopefully he'll be okay. Then he got to the races, but that depth, you couldn't tell, but was quite deeper. And he wanted, and the want and the drive and the work ethic, those things all play a major role, but he wanted it more than other horses. And that's something we can't gauge, right? There's no instrument panel for that. There's no way for me to tell you which horses want it more than the other ones. I love the overachievers, but again, their overall talent sometimes stops them from getting where you hope they would be. So it's impossible to tell. So, and that was in regards to Southwind Idex. He does everything right. He continues to be better. He's on the right line. Last, we're painting and blistering that splint. We have not crowded it yet. And who knows, maybe he'll get to a point where we won't have to, but he's getting better every week. So I knew there was really... the only way I could tell around the last turn, the only way they were all going to swallow this filly up was if she made a break. She just felt loaded, and she was. We came to the head of lane, and the wind hit her, and she kind of cowered to the left a little bit, and I hit her a swat and growled at her, and then she hit her fifth gear, boom, and she was gone. O's Hill No was very impressive in first over. She looked great. Jason, I looked at the TV coming to the half, and I could see somebody was way back. And then when we caught up, I said, "Was that you way back?" He said, "She went a hell of a half to catch up and do the work she did. This filly's a nice filly." I said, "Yeah, well, we always thought she was nice. She just made a couple of breaks and stuff. But she was very good today." Southwind Idex was good. What about Melisandre? Amy kind of slithering through and just getting beat for third at the wire, but looked really, really good at the wire. And Fire and Shine, every horse in that set was impressive to me. I was thoroughly impressed with set number 4. We went out in the 5th, a little bit different. Grand Slam Dio. You could see she made a break at the start when the tractor was there. Then getting into the far turn, I got past the tractor and I thought I was okay in the first over position. But as I had said in my video during the broadcast, sometimes when you get jostled, right? It isn't that the horse's gait gets messed up. It's sometimes mental, right? She went by the tractor, but still, the residual effect was she was still not focusing on her work. We got to the turn. As we got to the turn, she just couldn't function properly and gave up, rolled off, right? And those things are good, though. Because she'll get to that point again, and maybe you'll be able to push through. And we get to that point again and again and again, where we get to the turn and she wasn't uncomfortable, that comfort level will start to rise, and then you won't see those things happen at the races this summer. And that's the point of training the horses like this. So although Grand Slam Dio made a break today, I certainly wasn't disappointed with her. If you saw how fast she was finishing up her mile, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. I was thoroughly impressed with her. The two horses, obviously, that were layovers in my mind in that set, the way they went. Dancing on My Socks had a curb going out on the track. We still went with him, and he won his set and looked good. That curb was since blistered. We'll cool it out Monday, Tuesday. By the end of next week, I think Dr. Latessa will be able to cryo it, and that will be gone. Mountaineer Prince is a good-looking colt. Joey Cramp went with Mountaineer Prince. I thought the horse looked great. Looked very, very good. Just kind of got lost on the front, I think, and got snapped at the wire, picked up at the wire. But I think the horse got the slickest gait, probably top 10 in our barn gate-wise. Just floats over the ground. Just has to understand his work a little more, but that will come. Pelican Al, he still isn't paying attention to his work the way he should. Now he got all his feet chopped off and brand new shoes with corks on yesterday. Mechanically, he wasn't his best, but the squealing at the quarter pole and acting up, that needs to dissipate, or I'll help him dissipate it. We'll just castrate him. And I don't think we're there yet, but I know that he was giving the girls a rough time in the barn the other day, and I told them, I said, just be careful with him. Just know that he can act up, and if it doesn't stop over the next few weeks or so, let me know. we'll literally nip that in the bud. But Pelican Al, him and Captain Incredible, they got off to a slower start, but these are big, strong horses with very, very deep pedigree pools. I'm not worried about them at all. We went out with the 6th set. I was extremely happy with Yves St. Kemp. This is a horse that hadn't done it right in almost a month, right? Since almost before the open house. I believe he ran at the open house, if I'm not mistaken. Really wanted to see him start to improve, and today I thought he was greatly improved. Very, very happy with him today. Finished off his mile good. Made that break right kind of at the wire, but I think the hobbles were just kind of a little tight. Goes down to confidence, and I think we'll get him into a place where everybody, including him, are very comfortable moving forward. But today he was just good. Captain Incredible was good. Really happy with what I saw from him. And Never Lose Felix ran at the wire, but was looking to make a break in the straightaways. Does he need the hobbles? It's possible. Good news is we have lots of sets in the burn, so you may see him with the hobbles on next week. But that set, I'm ready to again. I don't really know what's going on with this guy. Maybe a growth spurt or something. Something was bothering him. I'm not too worried about it, but he has slid into the category now where I'd like to go with this guy next week. So I'll probably go with I'm Ready Too. He had been really good. Let's see what's going on with this guy and get it nipped in the bud. So very happy, and I'm a trucker. I know a lot of people out there that are my partners, and I'm a trucker. Like, oh my God, trucker looks terrible. Just relax. Trucker trotted his last half really good, Joey said. So what that tells me is you need to warm him up a little harder. You need to go out and thaw him out a lot more. Make sure he's on his toes and on the bit. I remember him at the open house. He was all right. Leading up to the open house, we worked him hard. I thought he was pretty good. Made a couple of breaks again. This is another horse. Maybe I'll go with him this week. Who knows? But I wasn't disappointed with anybody in set 6. In fact, very happy with Yves St. Kemp. Happy with Captain Incredible. Paced the whole mile. Looked good doing it. Now we just got to continue to move forward with him. We went out with the last set, and man, I was so mad. Dancing by Myself, maybe one of the fastest horses we have in the barn, and you guys haven't had a chance to see it. He was acting up, and he was out, and he's cantering and screwing around, and I don't really know why he is. When I come back in, he had no weight on, like just a normal trotting shoe. We put some 3-ounce toe weights on him, some bell boots with a gun. He will trot this week. When you get him trotting, he's flawless. But he's a bit of a bugger to get to that point, and I don't really know. I don't understand why. It's the weirdest thing. So I won a mile in 42 with him. After you guys didn't get a chance to see him, everybody was gone. I was on the other side of the track. I was boiling over, but I just got to bite my lip and say, listen, these are babies. This is what happens sometimes. So Dancing by Myself made a break, but still, speed-wise, can go with any horse in the barn. Just has to get his head in the game full time. Jason Merriman went a little too much with Rosa and Alexander. You guys are starting to see what she can do now. She is flashy, and she is fast. Foxy Seaside, we opted to take the Murphy blind off. I think that was a mistake in hindsight. Made that break in the last turn. Shouldn't be making any breaks, this filly. She's got a lot of speed and a lot to offer. But again, when you're dealing with such a fluid, fast, quick-gaited horses as Rosa and Alexandra, it puts the other field in a bit of a disadvantage, and it frustrates them a little bit. I think you saw that frustration with Foxy in the last turn. Blue Ventura was trying to pace as hard as he could to keep up to her and kind of blew the turn a little bit and got out of gear. But again, I thought he finished up pretty good. Gorgeous Package continues to overachieve every single week. And somebody asked me, why do you keep saying she's overachieving? She's just a tiny little filly, right? She'd made breaks. She was hard to get gated. When she's in her stall, she makes a little flutter with her airway and doesn't do it on the track. We've scoped her twice. There's been no issue. It's the weirdest thing. But she does her work. She's a fast filly. Country Dancing, again, first time with the corks on, Jason said, it just felt like I couldn't ask her for any more. I said, you shouldn't have had to ask her for any more. Went a little quick in there, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I was happy with everybody but my horse in that race. Very disappointed with Dancing by Myself today, but again, he's not the first Dancing by Myself I've ever seen, and I had to remind him of that. I said, you will trot this week, I can assure you of that. We put the heavy shoes on him. We'll take the boots off him behind, and he will be trotting this week. I don't really know what get into him today, but it will get out of him very, very quickly. So Country Dancing was good as I could ask her to be today. Gorgeous Package was good. Blue Ventura was good. Foxy Seaside made that break. Not her fault. I know exactly what took place. That's on me. It's my fault. And Rosa and Alexander was superb. So let me see here. Our sets are done. I was going to grade the horses. I guess I can grade them all pretty quick. The Priest, I'm going to give a B to. Anybody made a break, probably going to get a B today. It's only fair. A B. Aunt Lily, A. I'd give her an A+, but she's only done it perfect 1 week in a row, so I can't give her an A+, although she was an A+ today. Overall, I'm going to give her an A. She sits at the bars getting a B+, because she was awesome Monday, made a break today, but I know what had happened today, so I'm going to give her a B+. High Hopes is getting a B. Atrante is going to get A today. She was good. A-. She was third, looked good, finished up good, but coming off 2 breaks, an A-. Laggy is getting an A-. Oh, she made a break. She made a break at the wire, was trotting great before that. I'm giving her an A-. Speed of Sound is an A. Manhattan Money is a B-. He's got to do a little more work. I know it was the shoes. I know it was the cork. That's fine. Got to go out and do it. He's getting a B- today. Bluebird Tuxedo Hill is getting an A. Rose Run AJ. Kind of got to give him an A+. Won the last 2 sets he was in, I believe, and looked very good doing it. A+ for him. He's a great guy. B-. Made a break today. So just in a little side note, for Anthony for next week, likely looking like High Hopes. He's a great guy. I don't think I need to go with her. He's a great guy. Wander Hill. I'll go with Grand Slam Dio again. I'm a trucker. And I'm ready too. There's who I'm probably going to go with next week. So set number 3, Green Glitter, A+. Rosetta, A, coming off a break, looked very good. Freedom Hill's getting a B. Needs to do a better job. A B+. She didn't make a break. Needs to do a better job than that. Memento Mori's an A+ and looks very, very good. LT Troubadour, I'm giving you a C for running away from the tractors and the trucks and the drags and everything else. He's got an A+ engine, I'm almost certain of it, but he's getting a C today. I Don't Play Nice is getting an A. He's going to be an A+ very, very soon, but I think the A+ should be reserved for the horses that were A+ today, and I Don't Play Nice was an A. Jim Bree was an A+ today, coming off a break last week, but she just looked so strong and felt so good today. She's getting an A+. Fire and Shine's an A- today. Finished 5th, but did her work well. Melisandre is getting an A. She looked good. Oh Hill No is getting an A-. She's coming off a number of breaks. I'm giving her an A-. And I'm giving Southwind Idex an A- also. Just he's been there. Even Steven there, doing his work, never making a break. I'd like to see more. And since I know there's a lot more under the hood, I can't give him an A+ today. I'm giving him an A. Set number 5, Pelican Al's getting a B. He's got to do some work. Dancing in My Socks is getting an A. He looked good today. Wander Hill is getting a B-. Couple of breaks, 3 breaks in a row. We got to snap that pattern. Grand Slam Dio's getting an A-. No, she's getting a B. She made a break today. Was the tractor and she won the other day? No, B+. Mountaineer Prince is an A today. The horse looked great. Never Lose Felix is getting a B. Made a break. I'm a Trucker is getting a C. He's got a lot of work to do, but I'm confident he'll do it. I'm Ready Too is getting a B-. Couple of breaks in a row. How can I do that to Trucker? No, he's a C. I'm Ready Too is a C, but I know he's going to be in the A category once we get him squared away. I should have went with him today. I just couldn't. Captain Incredible's a B. Lots of work there to do, but he did his work. He's a B today. It's a B today. Yves St. Kemp is going to be A-. Now, he's a B+. He just done a lot wrong for a month, and he won the set today and looked good, but he's still got a lot of work to do. I'm giving him a B+. And then the last set of the day, Country Dancing's getting an A. Gorgeous Package is getting an A. Blue Ventura is getting an A. Foxy Seaside, I'm going to give a B. Made that break today. I'm going to give her a B. Rose Run Alexander is an A+. And Dancing With Myself is getting a C-. Maybe even a D. I don't like when horses act up like that. This guy, he's going to do some heavy lifting this week. He's going to wish he didn't do it. That's for sure. So, the top horses of the day, the A+. Now, Aunt Lily, I gave an A too, but she was great today. Speed of Sound got an A, but she was great today also. Bluebird Tuxedo Hill got an A+, I guess. A+, whatever. He's been great. That's 3. Green Glitter was fantastic. Rosetta was great. Memento Mori and I Don't Play Nice was fantastic. All 4 of them. Chimpanzee was great. Melisandre, Oh Hill No. Southwind Idex was very good also. I'm going to skip right over the 5th set. I mean, Dance on My Socks and Mountaineer Prince were good. They weren't as good as the ones I just mentioned, but they were good. Same with the 6th set. Yves St. Kemp was good. He was okay. Captain Incredible, good. I mean, for Captain Incredible, I know it's baby steps, but I too remember what we paid for him. I too remember what we wanted him to be and hope he'll be. So it's hard for me to say he's an A when he's not there yet. He's a B. And then the 7th set, A+ for sure on Roser and Alexander. Everybody else was good. So probably some 6 or 7 A+, but no failing marks today. I would say from Bookends, the best horse of the day, only because I sat behind her and I'm biased, is Green Glitter. But Memento Mori and Roser and Alexander, I think, easily share the stage. And then the horse that bothered me the most was Dancing by Myself. But again, might be one of our fastest horses. He just has to do it right. So those are the bookends for today, the highlights of today, how things went, what I saw, what I liked. I graded all the horses for you guys. You were all caught up now on our yearlings in Ohio. Ontario, there was 1 million feet of snow fell last night. Just not a nice day. They weren't able to train today. They'll train middle of the week in the freezing cold, same as us. And then the plan is to drone them next Saturday. So with that, I'll let you go. I'm here at Big D's. I got everybody pizza now. I got to come over and list of stuff I have to get for the barn. And then my day's over. I will talk to you all very soon. Good luck to anybody racing tonight. I don't know if we have anything racing tonight. I don't think we do. Nothing at Mohawk. Nothing in Ohio. Nothing in Pennsylvania. I don't think we have anything racing tonight. A decent day at the track this week. A decent week at the track this week. A decent day yesterday. Pretty well happy with the way things are going. Hopefully we can keep it going and grow from here throughout the winter and spring. I'll talk to you all very soon. I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope you liked the video. It was cold. Take care.